Accesso Global is an online property marketplace that focuses on properties within Africa. What we have aimed to do as a company is to help people looking to invest in properties in Africa or to buy, to relocate into Africa, have a seamless process from beginning to end. We host regular property tours, and this is one of such.
I'm loving it here so far. It's been a great experience. The people are real kind and welcoming, and it's warm, beautiful environment. How spacious everything is, how nice the homes are. The weather's been good so far. It's not as hot as you might think it is, so I'm loving it here. Yeah.
I'll be retiring within 3 to 5 years, and I'm looking for some options outside of the United States. I'm interested mainly in the apartments and also possibly the land and having development there.
So far on this tour that I've experienced a lot of interesting occurrences here. This property, just as it sits right now, holds a lot of promise. The amenities that have been placed in the viewing home and also what's available for us is really on par with future, not backdated, which is good.
Zesso Global is, first of all, very professional. They've provided me with lots of opportunities to see different places that I can not only purchase but rent, just a way for me to be a part of the up-and-coming new Ghana.
I can say for sure that this tour exceeded my wildest expectations. Being able to see from the countryside and the city and the hills in Ghana has given me a great perspective and idea what to appreciate.
Thank you very much to everybody that's joined us here today. We are truly grateful for the time you've given us here on this Saturday morning in the States and an afternoon in Ghana. Thank you very much for joining us here today. And for the second session with the Ghana Diaspora Public Affairs Committee and our partner Barracks Ghana as well. We're truly grateful for this partnership to put together this webinar for you all. And this is a very important one as well, right? A lot of people have questions around how do I finance real estate in Ghana? And I'm happy to say that we have some solutions for you all. And I'm happy that you're all joining us here. And please feel free to engage with us. Any questions you have, please put it in the chat, and we'll get to it at the end of the sessions as well, right? And so I want to start off with some introductions as well. My name is Kweku Essien from Zesso Global. I serve as Chief Commercial Officer for Zesso Global, and I'll just show our website here for those that don't know. Very easy to use and navigate. We're Africa's trusted property marketplace operated in Ghana and Nigeria. Feel free to reach out to us if you have any real estate needs. We can even offer you some perks now, especially if you are with the Ghana Diaspora Public Affairs Committee. We're happy to assist you. And we're also very happy to be here with Adjoa as well. Perhaps Adjoa, if you don't mind, just obviously, I'm sure a lot of people here know you already, but feel free to introduce yourself and your organization.
Yes, good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday. We've made it through the week. Clap for yourself. And also, Clap for yourself that you woke up and you're here on time. You've beaten everybody else. Wow. Clap for yourself. You've done well. You've done well. I just want to just say, we're so appreciative of this partnership with CESO Global. Kweku is amazing to work with. So I'm saying that as head of this organization, GHPAC, imagine how he will take care of you, again, helping to find a home, helping to buy land, right? I know for sure I'm already, hey, Kweku, you're my go-to person from now on. Okay. I hope you know. Hey, okay. I plan to have land all over Ghana, wherever is left. Yeah. So, that means you have to also move quickly. You know, there's a lot of challenges here in the United States right now. More and more, people are rethinking the future. Why not, right? When you see 401k jumping up and down, and these are the things that you come to the United States for, or that the American dream is supposed to be for, with stability, security, all these things. So, that's looking a little shaky, especially for our generation, millennials, right? And coming up. So, what about the Ghanaian dream? And that more and more and more is the focus for a lot of us, right? As you think about wealth building, as you think about where your family can grow with space, you know, and as you think about living in Ghana where there's so many beautiful homes to choose from and wonderful neighborhoods. I know because I toured 8 of them looking for my own house. Um, and happy that by next month I will be bicontinental. So how do we do this? That's what these master classes are for with CESO Global. How do you navigate this move to Ghana, right? Or bicontinental to Ghana. And so a big piece of this is how to finance a home. And it's amazing now. Things have changed so much that now we have trusted banking partners. If you're not aware of Ghana's banking system, Fidelity Bank is one of the top of the top. And I'm not just saying that because my husband used to work at Fidelity Bank, but I'm saying it because it's true. One of the trusted banking partners in Ghana, if you did not know the scene. So we're really excited that they are here with us today. And I was blown away at this concept of Petra funds that you can actually, as a diasporan, access a pension fund in Ghana. What? Pensions? I thought this is what we came to America for. I thought that was the American dream. You mean there's pension funds in Ghana and I as a diasporan can grow one? Hey, I'm sold. I'm sold. I'm sold. I cannot wait to hear from Sonia about that today. So if you're like, hey, I didn't really read this email and know that this is what we're talking about today. Wow, this is going to be really great information. Make sure you go send this link right now to your friends. Don't hoard this information for yourself. I beg you. That's not nice. Okay? So please send this link to your friends right now as we get started. And as far as GHPAC goes, there's a lot going on. I just GHPAC was just quoted in the Africa report regarding what happened with the year of return? And how has it been good for Ghanaians? And it does cover, for example, land disputes, which we had a great session on with Kweku CESO Global last month. So if you missed that session about land rights, especially as a diasporan, what you might be able to access. A recording is available. So you must join our platforms, www.ghanadiasporapac.org if you haven't already, to get our email so we can get access to the recordings or join CESO Global's platforms. We're on Instagram, on Facebook, so you can get access to these recordings. But yes, we have a lot coming up. The next thing I would say is next month, we'll launch our Black Star speaker series. with Rachel Laria, who was former Goldman Sachs. I'm looking at you, Erwin, I believe Goldman Sachs, and just started a book called, what is it, Erwin? The Black Capitalism.
Correct.
Correct. Oh my God, I'm so good. I remembered. Yes, Black capitalism. Wow, yeah. You know, we're talking about how we're building our wealth and our future here at GHPAC. So don't miss it. It'll be next month. What's the date again, Arwen? May 3rd? May 3rd, I believe.
Yeah,
So yes.
we'll make sure we put it into the chat. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. Or you can also just join our listserv so you don't miss the announcement. All right, I'm done talking, Kweku, I promise. I'm looking forward to this session now. I was just trying to give some time for the latecomers. But yes, thank you so much. Thank you for joining us today.
No, thank you very much for that. Actually, that was a great introduction, and I think it fits very well as well with what we're looking to do today. We're also very glad to be co-hosting this with the Barracks as well, the Barracks Ghana as well, and Erwin is here to speak a little bit about that. But perhaps let me just play a video first, just highlighting the development, and then he will speak from there. Excellent, excellent. Erwin, I'll give you the floor then to speak on your development and maybe even touch a little bit on the financing for that as it gives as a good example of payment plans as well.
Great. Thanks everyone, and welcome. And I look forward to being part of this with Ajwa, Abdul, and Sonia, and of course, CISA Global. So I think similar to most of you on here, I'm Ghanaian, or I'm Ghanaian American per se, and family in Ghana. We own land in Ghana. My father is 83, and I live in the US, but I'm in Ghana now almost every other month. And a couple of years ago, I approached my father and said, I would love to do something on the land that you own, the multiple lands that you own. So I'm a millennial like all of you, and we drew up some plans for him and he loved it. And that's how this project came about. So the Barracks, the name is basically meaning that we're secure development. We're 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom. And if you're an owner or you're a guest, when you get to the gate, you have a key card that gets you into the development. And then when you get to your building, you also need a key card to get into the building. And then when you get to your unit, you can either have a key or you can have access. So we're trying to make this a modern apartment. We're in East Legon. We're right behind America House. Really convenient, either getting to the airport or getting to other parts of town. And so it's a family project. We're 4 separate buildings, as you can see, and each building has 6 apartments total. And we're only offering 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, as I indicated earlier. So a bit about, I think my story is no different than anyone on this call. If you're not Ghanaian and you live somewhere else in the world, whether you're American or British, the hope is that you create generational wealth with your own family land, right? If you're from Ghana, your parents, most cases, own a piece of land or own a building on some piece of land right now. And they built it in a certain format, big house in the front, smaller house in the back, and a huge compound. That's not happening that much anymore. No one really wants to live in a huge compound unless you live outside Accra. And so we're building sort of small communities on different family lands, and this is one of our projects. So to talk a little bit about the payment plans, it's similar to most builders. There's a $5,000 commitment fee that someone has to pay. We send you, we sort of discuss, we send you a contract, you pay the $5,000, and within 30 days of that, you pay about 18% of your total payment, which roughly comes out to about $30,000. And so within 30 days, you've already paid $35,000. We do not take your $5,000. There's some builders who, let's say within almost the 20 days, you decide you don't want it. They take, most of your money. We say, if you've changed your mind and you want to go buy something else, or you don't want to move forward, within the 20 days, we don't mind giving you back your money. But that $5,000 goes to your full payment. So at the end of the month, after signing your contract, you pay $35,000. And you, as of today, you have about 18 months to pay the balance. So a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom on the ground floor starts at about $175,000 US. And we're basically at phase 1, which is building 1. And as I said, there were going to be 4 buildings. So the payment plan could be broken down in, you make either monthly payments, you make either quarterly payments, which is every 3 months, or you make a lump sum payment. And we have a lot of folks who are based in the US who've done a lump sum payment. They pull out of their equity in their home, or they go to a bank like Fidelity and then work out and basically give us the money in the intervals that I've just talked about. So I'll end there. We're open to questions. We're online at the Barracks GH on Instagram, and or thebarracksgh.com. Engage with us. I'm available on LinkedIn. I'm available on every single platform. If you're talking to someone in email or you're talking to someone on social, you're actually talking to me. So there are no people in between. We're a family project, and we've done a few other projects, and this is our first commercial, and we would love you to come aboard. Thank you.
Excellent. No, thank you very much for that. And as we move towards this, I'll move straight into the presentation from Fidelity, right? And so I'll give the floor. I'll cede the floor to you, Abdul Razak Juma, who's a mortgage manager at Fidelity Bank. I will man the presentation for you, so please let me know when you want to move ahead. But I'll give you the floor now. Thank you.
Just quickly,
Sure, yes.
can we give some instructions on how people can ask questions, since the chat box is disabled right now? So as Fidelity's Abdul's presentation is happening, how they can ask questions.
How is it? They should be able to go into the Q&A box to ask questions. Please let me know if that's an issue for you. If not, we can always allow for people to ask questions via speaking at some point, but it should work. Please let me know if it's not working.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, Abdul, I don't know if you can hear us.
Okay, I can hear you, and good afternoon to everyone.
Good afternoon.
You are audible, yes.
Yes, you're audible, yes.
Okay, thank you very much. And thank you, Cecil Global, for the opportunity to engage our audience. And audience, thank you very much and for making time to be with us. So this afternoon, I'm taking you through how to finance a home. And basically, we'll look at some tips on mortgage financing, and then also zoom in on some common pitfalls to avoid, and do some comparison, payment plan against mortgage financing. What are some of the advantages and disadvantages? Okay, so I'll begin with first how to assess a home or a mortgage financing in Ghana. Now, it is important and instructive to note that assessing mortgage in Ghana involves some few key but critical steps that you have to watch out for. So the first and foremost is what we call you determining your eligibility. It's important that for mortgage financing, because it's basically a facility being given out, the financing house or the bank will want to know if you qualify for the facility. So one of the key things for determining eligibility is your employment status. So basically, you should be an income earner, whether a self-employed that is running your own business, or a salary earner who is an employee working for an institution and earning regular income. Then two, under eligibility, we also look at what we call your credit history. So credit history here, we are looking at the history of the facility that you've taken before and how they have performed, just to be able to determine your willingness and your ability to pay your credit facilities that you take. So for those in the diaspora, for instance, we look at your report from either Experian, Equifax, or TransUnion to be able to ascertain that. And also age-wise, because as I said earlier, it's also dependent on the repayment that you need to make. So the age-wise is always between your working age, so from 18 years and then above. So if you are somewhere in the UK or US, we can do about 60 years. Some we can do 60, some 65. And if you fall within that range, we can then grant you the mortgage facility. The final one that under eligibility is that you also be required to make a down payment. So most mortgages in Ghana have down payments ranging from 10% to 30%. So basically an equity contribution that is expected of you. In Fidelity, the maximum we could do is we can do up to 80% and also allow you to do a deposit of 20%. Apart from eligibility, you then have to look at choosing the type of mortgage that you are looking at. What type are you going for? Are you going for home purchase mortgage, home construction mortgage, home improvement mortgage, or equity release? And we also do what we call service plot financing. Now, however, if you want to zoom into home purchase mortgage, we are also looking at it, that what property are you looking at? Are you looking at an apartment, a standalone home, which is a detached home, a semi-detached home? Are you looking at a townhouse? So it's important that you also now decide, since now you know that you are eligible for such a facility. Now, after choosing the type of mortgage, you then have to gather a document. So there are some basic requirements for mortgage financing in Ghana. Some of the main requirements that we need is your proof of identity. So you should have an ID, in Ghana, preferably a Ghana card or your passport. And then you should also be able to prove income. So if you are an employee, we will need your 3 months pay slips and 6 months bank statement to confirm that at least there's a salary that comes in, and that salary credit is also shown on your bank statement. And you also be expected to, get a document to the property that you intend to purchase. We want to ensure that at least you are getting value for money. So we'll also take a copy of the title document to the land that you intend to purchase for us to undertake some due diligence and conduct searches on it and get a legal opinion on it for you, and then complete a mortgage application form. Now, when this document gathering is completed, you then submit the application to the bank, and where the bank will do an initial assessment and verification of the documents submitted. And if everything is okay and satisfactory, then the application will then be approved. When it is approved, you are given what we call a facility offer letter. So this offer letter states the condition precedent for disbursement of the facility. So you'll be expected to pay some fees, for example, a processing fee. You'll be expected to pay a fee for to enable us conduct the land title search for you, a fee to undertake valuation on the property to ensure that the value at which you are, or the price at which you are buying the property is commensurate with the value of the property, and that you are not being shortchanged. So that is also done and stated in the facility letter. And because we also want to protect you, in Ghana, you'll be expected to do 2 major insurance. And we have the mortgage protection insurance. This is on the loan amount, so that in case of any eventuality such as permanent disability, critical illness, temporary disability, or your demise, what will happen is that the insurance company pays off the mortgage facility, and then yourself and your family can enjoy the property. So that is for the mortgage and protection. Then we have what we call the property all risk insurance. So this is an insurance being done on the property in case of any natural disaster, such as fire, such as the wind, such as flood. If the property is raised down, the insurance company will have to rebuild it for you or reinstate the property for you. That is also captured in the offer letter. And if you are satisfied with that, you sign the offer letter. And then you also sign what we call the pre-agreement truth in lending. So that document states the total requirement and the total clauses and fees that you need to pay, so that you have a total view of the transaction that you are going in. If you're also satisfied with the pre-agreement truth in lending, then you sign the mortgage agreement. So after signing the mortgage agreement, then disbursement is then done. Then exactly a month after the disbursement, you then resume the repayment of that facility. So these are some of the few steps that you undertake to be able to access a mortgage in Ghana and Fidelity. Now, the second and one I want us to look at, people, we move on to the common pitfalls in accessing mortgage. It's important that in order to access mortgage, there are some few things that we also need to be careful of, that you don't just stand up and go to any other institutions and take a mortgage facility. The first point you need to consider is you should compare lenders. So the lenders that you are coming to take the facility from, compare them, shop around, find out what they are offering and what's the best conditions that they have, and check on the interest rate, check on the repayment terms, look at the flexibility of prepayment and repayment, and look at the different packages that you can get out of the lender that you are going for. So it's important that you also compare lenders to be able to know if you have the flexibility and if it's something that is convenient for you to be able to take the facility. Then two, it's important to also take note of currency mismatch, so that in taking the mortgage facility, because you have to be making the repayment, you should also look at the currency mismatch so that you don't fall prey to exchange rate and risk, where you take a facility in a currency that you are not used to or you don't earn any income in, and then you have the challenges every now and then going to, change the currency to be able to service the mortgage facility that you have. So it's important that the mortgage facility is given in your currency of earning, and so that at least it makes repayment easy and comfortable for you and become stress-free. So if you earn USD, you want a USD mortgage. If you want pounds, you want a pound mortgage. If you want euro, you want a euro mortgage. And if you are here to want a city mortgage, and you also take a city mortgage. So with that, with all these currency mortgages, Fidelity Bank offers that, and we can assist you and with that one. Point three is also, most people tend to focus on only the repayment of that facility. So that you are looking at taking a mortgage facility and you are looking at only the interest rate of the facility that you are taking. It's important you understand that there are more things that you need to consider than interest rate. So we have something we call the annual percentage rate, the APR. So the APR gives you the total cost of the mortgage facility that you are taking. And this includes the repayment of the facility or the interest rate. And then there's a processing fee that you pay for the facility that you are taking. You have to also undertake some insurance, as I said earlier, and then pay some other fees. So what it is that the total fees put together is what is termed as the annual percentage rate of the facility that you are taking. For example, you can go to a lender where you are giving maybe a US dollar mortgage facility at 10%. And then you are giving a processing fee of 2%. And you are giving, let's say, an administrative fee of another 2%. Now, in this, the annual percentage rate would have been 14% for taking the mortgage facility. Okay. Now you can go to another lender where the interest rate is, let's say, 11%. The processing fee is 1%, and that there is no fee for administrative charges. So the total transaction cost for this facility will just have been 12%. But if you look at only the repayment, that is the interest rate, you think the second one is expensive because the interest rate on the facility is 11%. But the total transaction cost for the facility you are going for is actually 12. But the first option, even though the interest rate is 10%, the total transaction cost is 14%. So it's important that you look beyond the interest rate or repayment amount and then be able to take a decision on that. The next one is also to try and understand the mortgage terms. Because for the mortgage facility that you are taking, what it is that there are clauses within the agreements that you are signing, clauses on penalties, clauses on insurance, clauses on requirement, clauses on prepayment, whether you can easily prepay the money when you have a windfall. And at any time that you have such funds, can you reduce your loan balance? When you reduce it, what will happen? What are the options? When you do any principal write down, would it affect the repayment amount? Would the repayment amount reduce, or your tenor will reduce? What are the various options and scenarios available to you as an individual? So it's also important that you also understand the mortgage terms that you are going for. In Fidelity, we make it open to you and even give you the opportunity to contact any lawyer for a legal advice to assist you in that regard. The next point is also to look beyond your means. Okay, don't borrow beyond your means. It's important that you also borrow within your means, something that you are comfortable of and that you think you can pay. Some would come for mortgages and they are looking at potential rental income when that rental income has not been realized yet. Sometimes it also takes you into trouble because you want the potential rental income to be factored for you to be able to take a higher amount. It then got to a time that when you don't have a tenant in that property, you then start struggling in servicing the mortgage facility. So it's important that you also take a mortgage facility that is within your means. If the potential rental income or any other unplanned income comes, it supports you or cushions the repayment of the facility and makes room for you to also be able to do some principal write down with such a facility. And last but not the least, I'll say that it's also important that we understand that pre-approval is not the final approval. So some would have come to the bank, receive an approval for the facility, and then immediately after receiving the approval, go and take another facility, either using that facility as their down payment or equity contribution, or going for another facility to be able to maybe meet some pressing financial obligations. What will happen is that before the funds is disbursed, sometimes the financial institution also conducts what we call a second credit check to confirm that you are not highly geared, that after receiving the pre-approval, you've not gone to take additional facility to do other things. So it's important that we also not assume that the pre-approval is a final approval. It can always be changed when your condition changes. And finally, relying on informal income without proof is one of the pitfalls that we also have to be careful of. That if you have you earn some informal income and that income cannot be proved, financial institutions in Ghana will not be able to grant you a mortgage facility on that. Every income should be an income that can be verified. And if that income can be verified, you can then consider that in getting the facility that you want. So consistent income is the key here. So those are some of the few pitfalls that I wanted to highlight. And then finally, I want us to zoom into looking at the payment plan versus mortgage financing. So for individuals, currently in Ghana, we have payment plans which is being offered by some developers just to be able to assist individuals to be able to purchase their units from their development. So vis-a-vis and mortgage financing, what are some of the pros and cons in taking a payment plan? Now, for payment plan, basically the individual has an arrangement with the developer to enable him or her to buy a unit from their development. Now, one of the advantages of a payment plan is that either there's no interest on that facility, or the interest on it compared to a mortgage facility tend to be lower. So the interest on the payment plan tend to be lower or non-existent at all. And also you tend to have a flexible terms of payment when you take a payment plan option. And less paperwork. You will not be asked for your credit report, your pay slips, and your bank statement. And you don't need to go through any rigorous process, and the process tends to be faster and simpler. The cons and the disadvantage of payment plan is that most of the time the repayment period is shorter. So you get it for either 12 months, 24 months, max would have been 60 months for a payment plan. And then you are limited in the availability. It's not every developer that offers such an arrangement. And then you might also have the risks of delay if especially the developer does not have the funds to be able to complete it for you at the time that you want. So there is a risk of delay in taking such a facility. And sometimes the ownership title will be held till full payment is made. So you will not receive title to the land or to the property until full payment is made. Now, for mortgage financing, one of the key advantage for mortgage financing is that you have the monthly repayment spread over a longer period for you. So for mortgages in Fidelity, for example, we do up to 20 years. So you can come for a 5-year mortgage, 7-year mortgage, 10-year, 15, or the maximum 20-year mortgage facility. So the repayment tend to be spread over a longer period. And so it makes the repayment amount lower and less stressful and comfortable for you to be able to pay. And the other advantage too is that you have access to more expensive home because the repayment period tend to be lower. What happens is that you're able to qualify for a more amount that you could have done if you go for a payment arrangement where the period is shorter. So with a mortgage facility, you are able to qualify for a more amount and then maybe go in for a more expensive and your dream home that you are looking at. Ownership transfer is early. The moment you come in for the mortgage facility, the bank pays the developer the amount. What happens is that the developer then gives you the document to the land. And as part of the advantages, the bank will then go on to perfect the title of the document and property for you in your name and then keep it. Then when you are done with payments, the bank then hand it over to you. So at least you get ownership transfers being done early for you, and you are sure of good service from us. The repayment are structured and regulated, so you are clear of the monthly repayment. You know when it's expected and how you need to pay and the amount you need to pay. Okay, the cons or disadvantage with mortgage financing is sometimes high interest rate on the mortgage facility. And then, as I said earlier, more documentation. You need to submit some proof of income, proof of identity, complete a mortgage application form, and then it will then enable us. And then additional final one I will say is on the cost, because with mortgage financing, you'll be expected to pay a processing fee. And I'm sure with payment plan, there might not be a processing fee that you need to pay. So the cost on mortgages tend to be higher. But one key and major advantage for mortgage financing too is that you have the mortgagee doing some due diligence for you. So undertaking valuation, undertaking searches, and even when you get your property or you get a title to the property, the bank will then go ahead to try and perfect the title in your name for you and get you a land title certificate. In payment plan arrangement, you will not get the developer doing that on your behalf most of the time. So thank you very much. I will end here, and then we can ask any question and any clarification. Thank you. Thank you, Kofi.
Thank you very much. No, thank you very much for that presentation. I think very, very necessary. And I do see some questions in the chat. Perhaps we'll touch on just one or two of these and then, well, actually just one, and then we'll touch on the rest at the end. But I think there was a question around what are the interest rates at the moment and how long is the mortgage term? If you can maybe just touch on that, and then we'll move forward with
Thank you very much. So for our foreign currency mortgages, currently the interest rate is between 10 to 12%, and for our foreign currency mortgages, and the tenor we are doing up to 15 years for foreign currency mortgages. Then that's for our people in the diaspora. Now, for those that are in Ghana or resident Ghanaians, what it is that for the Ghana cedi, we also have it between the rate of 18 to 23.5%. That is the rate on the Ghana cedi mortgages, and the tenor is up to 20 years. So we give that up to 20 years.
Okay, thank you very much for that explanation. And so we'll move forward, and please feel free to put in your questions in the chat. We'll get to it right after this presentation from Sonia, who is at Petra Pension. And so I'll put it up on the screen. Sonia, I hope you can hear us and speak. Hello, Sonia, are you there? You're on mute. I don't know if you're aware, you're on mute. Okay, maybe there's some technical difficulties. No worries. Perhaps Razak, we'll just delve into your questions while we wait for her to get back on. So another question from Yahan is, could you walk us through how the mortgage conversation typically works with a lender in Ghana, especially for buyers based abroad? Also, are mortgage loans generally calculated in dollars or Ghana cedis? And how does currency conversion impact repayment terms? I know you touched on it in your presentation, but perhaps you can go into a little bit more detail.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. So as I said earlier, we do foreign currency mortgage and local currency mortgages. So if you are in the diaspora, and we can give you a US dollar mortgage facility, and if you want a pound, we can also consider and do that for you. Now, what it is that we don't want, because of the currency risks, we always want to give you the facility in the currency of your earning. So if you earn US dollar, and what it is that we'll give you a USD mortgage facility in Ghana. And if you earn Ghana cedi, and you also enjoy the Ghana cedi mortgage facility. However, if you are in the diaspora and you still want to go in for the cedi mortgage, it's something that we also consider for you. On the documentation and requirements, so as I said earlier, if you're in the diaspora and you want to take a mortgage facility with us, it's very simple. We don't need you to come to Ghana. What it is that we have some frontline officers and relationship managers who will then engage with you and then be able to get an application and form done and completed with you. What we also do is that we have a virtual KYC process where we can do a virtual KYC with you being the diaspora and the RM being in Ghana. We do a virtual KYC process and then get you an account. So because you have to be making the repayment of the facility through an account in Fidelity Bank, we open a current account for you in Fidelity Bank, and you can then determine the number of account you want and the currencies that you want us to open the account in. So when that account is open for you on a monthly basis, you'll then be expected to remit the repayment of that facility into that account to service the mortgage facility that you have with us. So it's very simple. You don't need to come to Ghana. But if you are fortunate and you are in Ghana, you can visit any of our branches, and then you have the relationship officers always available to assist you. You can also engage us or call us on a toll-free line, which is 0800 003355 or contact Cecil Global. We are in partnership with them, and then they can also assist you with any of the mortgage options that you want. There is also a portal, and Kweku, to also mention, there's a portal that is coming up where you can also apply for your mortgage facility through that portal. I'm sure Cecil Global will share that portal with the team. You can go in there. It's a one-stop shop for property development. Go in there, select your developer that you are interested in, see the property that you are interested in, and then Fidelity Bank can also help you in accessing a mortgage facility. Thank you.
Fantastic. You're exactly right. Cecil has forged a partnership with Fidelity Bank to offer mortgages to both local and diaspora clients. And that portal will be launched very shortly, in a couple of weeks, and we'll send that to everybody who's registered here. And of course, feel free to reach out to us if you have any specific questions or needs, where we are here to assist you. And I think one thing that is I always like to note, important to note, is it's good to get a pre-approval just to understand what you can what is on offer for you potentially before you even start the journey, or as you are thinking of starting the journey to purchase a home. And Fidelity is a world-class institution that is ready to assist you with this. So I don't know if Sonia, are you back?
Yes, hi, I'm here.
Okay, excellent. Calvin, I see your hand up. If you don't mind, just put your question in the chat and we'll get to it. Thank you very much. And so we'll get back to the questions right after this presentation. Sonia, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you very much, everyone. Good morning, I guess, where you are. It's afternoon in Ghana. So I'm happy to be here to share a little bit of information about what Petra can do for you as you're looking to establish a real estate footprint in Ghana. And so just a little bit about Petra before we get started. We're a group of companies. We started out as a pension trustee company. So a lot of what we started out as or are known for in this part of the world is for pensions. And then we branched out a little bit to provide additional services that can write off your pensions. And this is one of those. So Kweku, do I have, okay. So today, what we're going to be running through is basically what our solution is around home ownership for Ghanaians and diasporans. And then we'll also talk a little bit about its features, what you are able to do with this product, essentially. So I'm sure all of us know somebody or have heard a story about someone who has tried to do this remotely, someone who has tried to buy property or build property in Ghana from outside of Ghana. And all of us have heard how, okay, there have been some challenges around the trustworthiness of the person that they contracted to do this on their behalf, or there have been issues around pricing, mismanagement, fraud. Even recently, we heard about some developers, a developer who had a similar challenge with its buildings in Ghana. And that is one of the reasons why we got into this. Part of it is to help the Ghanaian in Ghana, but also give Ghanaians outside of Ghana an opportunity to access home ownership here without necessarily having to be physically present. Quickly, if you could move on to the following slide. Yeah, so we've created a solution. It's called Easy Homes. Essentially, what we're doing is being your eyes and ears as you are going through the home ownership process from wherever you are remotely. And what we're trying to do is offer you verified property listings in conjunction with partners like Cecil, and then payment options that don't necessarily have to expose you to fraud. So options that run through us, and then also dedicated local reps who are literally going to these developers and doing everything as you would have done it if you were here in Ghana. So moving on, originally, I mentioned that we're a pension company. So this product writes off of our pension business. And so essentially it is a home ownership solution where we have developers on there through our partnerships with people like Kweku. And then we also have financing partners with, incidentally, Abdul Razak is one of our financing partners, and then they come together to provide funding to help applicants like yourselves access homes from wherever you are in the world. And so we have the option of an outright purchase where you can use your TFE balance, you can add in any personal funds that you have, or even if you don't have a TFE balance, you can use your personal funds by creating an account with us and depositing the money in there. I mentioned we have secure payment systems, and so the idea here is to create an account with us, use us as sort of an escrow system so that you are able to deposit the funds with us. We do all our due diligence checks, and once you are satisfied, we are satisfied. We transfer the money to whoever it is you are buying the home for on your behalf, upon your instruction. Then the other approach would be to use financing to purchase the house. And so again, if you don't have enough funds sitting in your TFE or sitting in your personal savings, we can help you access financing through our partner banks, of which Abdul Razak is one, so Fidelity is one. And essentially, you are accessing additional funds, which, because it's pension-backed, comes at a relatively cheaper rate than what you would find generally in the market for commercial mortgages. So that is the second way you can access this. Then for those who haven't gotten to the point where they are able to put a mortgage and their Tier 3 funds and their personal savings together to purchase a home, we actually provide financial planning services through our
I think unfortunately she may have dropped off. Seems there's some internet issues. Sonia, if you get back on, no worries. We will run through this with you as well, right? Oh yes, she just texted me. No problem. Perhaps let's delve into while we wait for her to get back on. We can delve into some of the questions as well. Yes, we did. Feel free to come back. Let's delve into the questions again. Another question, I think a follow-up question actually to you, Abdul Razak. It's from Yahan again. Thank you, Yahan. As a follow-up, does Fidelity offer mortgage products in Canadian dollars, or are all mortgages processed in USD and cedis, etc.? If it is the latter, how does that impact repayment for buyers earning in Canada? That's a question to you, Razak.
No, thank you very much, Johan. Yeah, so currently, what we do is that we do it in the major currencies, and in Ghana, major currencies, USD, that's the USD dollar, and then the pound, and then the euro. So unfortunately, currently, we don't do in the Canadian dollar. What it is that we recognize that for people earning in Canadian dollar, because you can easily get access to US dollar in Ghana, it makes the mortgage financing easier. So you can remit Canadian dollar, but we can easily get the US dollar purchasing here and then be able to buy for you to support your mortgage repayment. So that is how for those in Canada, you might have to take a US dollar mortgage facility.
Okay, thanks for that, Yan. Please feel free to chime in if you need further clarity on that. And for everybody else on, please feel free to ask any questions you have. We'll jump on it once the presentations are done, or intermittently as well. Sonia, I don't know if you are back. Are you back? Okay, yeah, feel free to.
Apologies. Yeah, so moving on from here. Yeah, so this is an illustration of how this arrangement would work essentially. So let's say you are living in the US and you want to buy a property in Accra. And obviously it's not that simple to do as you're sitting in the US and the property is here. And so you can actually not sign on per se, but reach out to Petra through our Easy Homes system, where we would help you verify the property documents, handle your inspections and all of that. So let's say you found the house through Cecil Global. right? We would collaborate with CESO, verify property documentation, go and see it on your behalf, provide you with reports, and basically figure out how you can finance this transaction, right? And so let's say you want to do a mix of the down payment through your personal finance or your personal savings, and then also take a mortgage to finance the balance. So you make the down payment into our account. That is an account that is opened in our scheme under your name, through which the payments to the developer will be made. And that account can only be accessed by yourself. So there's no way we can move money from that account without your say-so. So you make that payment into the account. So for illustration purposes, let's say you pay 300,000 cedis into that account. Based on the fact that you opened that account with us, you qualify to take a pension-backed mortgage, which Abdul Razak will tell you, once you have a mortgage that is secured by more than one thing. So the primary security for the mortgage is your house, but then the pension account acts as a secondary security to that account. So that would call that even a safer mortgage facility than your regular commercial mortgage, right? And so that gives you some preferential financing terms. And for that reason, because you open that account with us, you can get possibly a lower rate, more flexible repayment terms and the like, right? So you make the payment to us, we assist you go through the pension-backed mortgage application system or process. And then when you are confident that that payment from the mortgage bank is going to go through, you can authorize us to make the down payment to the developer on your behalf while you continue to fund your pension account. There are some requirements around using a pension-backed mortgage. I believe for Abdul Razak, your requirements would be that you have a mixture of a 20% down payment, which can be a mixture of your pension account and then your down payment directly to the developer, right? So altogether, what is sitting between your pension account and your down payment to the developer has to add up to 20% of the cost of the property, and then Abdul Razak can fund the 80% balance on your behalf, right? So you can complete all the paperwork digitally like Abdul Razak mentioned. We would help you, hold your hand, we'll facilitate the process, and then we would be giving you regular updates. And essentially, you become a homeowner as you are sitting in the US without having to necessarily step foot in Ghana. So that is how this system works.
Fantastic. Next slide, or?
Yes, please. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, you get access to quality pre-vetted properties. We do this in conjunction with CESO, and essentially we are making sure that the person that says they own the home actually does own the home. And then the build quality is of the best quality, and you can actually, we can actually guarantee that you are getting good value for your money. And in terms of payments, you can use your personal savings in Ghana, overseas earnings. You can use your Tier 3 account balance to purchase the home. And you can also access CD mortgages here. Abdul Razak is also able to give you a dollar mortgage, as he was mentioning earlier. And he would consider the incomes that you are making there. Of course, verifiable income there. So as he mentioned, any side business that you're doing, it has to be verifiable by the bank, else he's not able to add it to your income sources to determine how much you qualify for. Also, you're able to do this jointly with your spouse. However, this is a Petra thing. We have some partners who say you can do this with your siblings, your parents, and all of that. So depending on what the financing partner is asking, it's able to accommodate, we would be able to do that for you as well. And then again, we act as your eyes and ears on the ground. We will do the property inspections. We'll provide you with reports that give you the peace of mind to actually invest in this property and know that you are not throwing your money away, or you are not investing in something that does not give you value for money. So that is really what we bring to the table in this conversation. We do this in partnership with CESO, and then we also do this independently. Moving on to the next slide. Yeah, so this is a little bit about us as a company. You can check us out. Our website is petraonline.com. Like I mentioned, we initially started in pensions, but we branched out a little bit. The reason we're able to do this is because pension law in Ghana allows you to access a mortgage with your pension funds tax-free. And so that got us thinking, and we started wondering how we can help Ghanaians who live in Ghana and live outside of Ghana to access real estate without breaking the bank, essentially. And that is how we came up with an innovative product like Easy Homes. It's right off of your tier 3 account balance with us, but we're also able to work with people who have monies outside of the pension system, but would like to route it to us for safety and safety purposes. So I think that brings me to the end of my presentation. Thank you so much. I'm open to questions at this point, and yeah, would love to do business with you.
Yes, Sajua, your hand is up. Please feel free.
Only because I don't know how to put this thing in the Q&A box, so forgive me.
Oh, it's okay.
Maybe. Sonia, could you share the difference really between a mortgage or pension-backed loan versus a commercial loan in terms of interest rates?
Sonia, you're on mute. I don't know if you can hear us.
Sorry, I didn't catch all of the question.
Could you share the difference between your type of loans versus a commercial loan in terms of interest rates?
Sorry, the network here is not so great. ECG has done their thing. But if I question to know the difference between a commercial mortgage and a pension-backed mortgage.
In terms of interest rate, yes.
Okay. So you would find that the commercial mortgage rates are slightly, well, depends on what you would call slight, but they are somewhat higher than what you would find for regular commercial mortgages. So they can be the rate can be different up to say 4% or 5% even, because of the additional security that comes to the table. The other benefit of the pension-backed mortgage is that you can accumulate funds in the pension account and use that to offset your outstanding balance as the mortgage progresses. So there's a mechanism in place that allows you to pay down as the mortgage is running. So overall, ideally, it's supposed to be a cheaper way of accessing financing, and you are able to pay off quicker if you are committed to your pension account.
And sorry, I have follow-up. And do you partner with any U.S. banks as well? Is there a way for folks to tap into their U.S. retirement funds in any way and connect it to your institution?
Sorry, I went off for a second. If you could please repeat that.
Do you work with any U.S. financial institutions? Is there a way for people to connect their U.S. retirement funds with your institution?
Unfortunately, it looks like she's struggling with their internet. Sonia, I don't know if you are back yet, but if you are, just let us know. That was a good question, actually. It'd be good to know. Let's see if she comes back on. But please feel free to ping any questions. I did see some hands raised. For those that are not aware, you can ping it in the chat, in the Q&A. Worst case, if you can't do it, I can allow you to speak. But I'm really grateful to we have close to 40 people here. Thank you very much for the time that you've given us all here today, and thank you very much to the panelists as well for giving us their time, of course, and also very thankful to Ghana Diaspora PAC and as well Barracks GH as well, Barracks Ghana as well. I see a question here from Calvin. Hello, Calvin. A question said, when you have time, please answer this question. Is there any future trends predicting property in Ghana appreciating in the next decade? Very interesting question. Very forward-looking question. And perhaps I'll allow others to also chime in here. I know everyone wants to chime in here as well, but I'll give my thoughts on it as well, right? So I think from what you are seeing, even on this call, right, that the banks are even coming in on board as well to provide financing in this, and also the pension funds as well. You can see that the level of demand is going to grow. It's going to grow on a hockey stick curve, in my opinion. Ghana has a lot of advantages. Of course, we all know the issues we have as well. But it's very interesting when you speak to people who are not Ghanaians. Sometimes take yourself out of the bubble. There are a lot of people, even in countries close to Ghana in West Africa, who see Ghana as a beacon, right? And with what has happened with respect to the year of return and beyond the return, Ghana has actually, elevated itself above other countries with respect to the wider diaspora, right? And I was just watching a video. There's a YouTube channel called Earn Your Leisure, very massive YouTube channel in the States. It's run by some Black American folks who are very intelligent in financing. And they spoke about the fact that they are now looking to get dual citizenship. They are looking at obviously I guess, the rocky situation in the States now, and view the fact that Ghana is actually a place where they would think about, really setting up shop and having investments in. And in fact, I'll note that this same channel, this same group, they have over 1 million followers on YouTube. They actually have a development in Ghana. It's called Sambra City as well, right? And that tells you where their minds are at as well. And so I'll say, all in all, Ghana does have its issues, but collectively, when you look at it and where Ghana has been before and where it is now, there is an upward trend, and in certain places, especially East Legon, where the barracks is at, and others as well. You'll find that there has been a massive appreciation. I'll just put up one chart. It's not a recent chart, but I do like to show this chart just in terms of, this is 2018 to 2019. I wish I had more recent data. But it shows, in turn, right, the percentage increase between this period. It did taper a little bit during the COVID period, etc. But I think it's going to go up now like a hockey stick, especially just due to the dynamics. So I'll stop there. But that was a very interesting question, good question, and perhaps
Yeah,
you want to touch on it.
I'll expand on that question a bit. So what's really interesting is there are a lot of us who either work in the US or live in Ghana. We're bi-coastal, and you're finding out that honestly, regardless of where you are in the world, real estate is a extremely good investment. If you look at what's happening in England, or you look at what's happening in the US, or you look at what's happening in Canada, land is what is fueling growth. The same thing for Ghana. If you've been to Ghana recently, you find out that Accra is no longer just this small place. Accra has expanded. East Legon, Abri, people are moving to Abri. You're talking about the people who come from abroad. For example, my 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom. Down the street, we have another developer who's selling the same 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom for $275. So yes, if you buy at a less price, your equity, in the sense of comps, totally raises you to that level after development is finished. The numbers that Kweku has on the screen are relative to that. If you're going to Airbnb your unit because you're not going to be in Ghana, you can earn, at least, and the numbers can fluctuate, right? Because of, the CD dollar. But if you're renting in dollars, if you go and look at Airbnb right now and you go and look at the properties available for rent in Ghana, it's endless. It's because of the amount of people traveling into the country. So yes, to answer your question, your money does appreciate, or your property will appreciate, depending on the neighborhood. Yes, right? There are factors. Depending on the quality build, and depending on the amenities in the area. So time immemorial, you're looking at East Legon, as Kweku showed in that sheet. You're looking at Roman Ridge. You're looking at cantonments. When you start looking at pricing in cantonments and airport, prices are higher. As you come into sort of the neighborhoods, East Legon, you head towards Abri, Yarifa, Tema, then your prices for initial properties are a little bit less, but that doesn't mean you're not going to make that percentage increase return on your money. So I'll stop there to allow others to answer, and I hope we answered that question for you.
Yeah.
Let me jump in one last. I know Jane asked a question about rent to own. On my particular property that we're building in East Legon, we don't have a rent to own option. I know of other builders in Ghana who are doing sort of a hotel rent to own hybrid. And I only know of probably two developers who are doing that. So it depends on the developer. One might be, I think, in airport somewhere, and another might be in cantonments. I don't have that information. But as you talk to builders and you're looking for units in Ghana, pose that question. I don't have that as part of my development. We're only 24 apartments, very close-knit community of people who've purchased so far. We have 2 people who've purchased from England. We have another 4 people who've purchased from the US, and then we have a few people who purchased in Ghana. So we're going to be full very soon, but reach out to us if that's something you want to explore. Since I'm the director of development, we can look at the numbers, how much you think you want to put down, for what type of extended period, because as of right now, we're asking you to pay the 175 in 18 months. So therefore, how long do you think you want? And I think getting a mortgage that allows you to spread might be also a better option for you if you're looking for that rent to own option.
No, excellent. And just to highlight that same question again, which I do like that question quite a bit, the forward-looking question. We will hopefully soon have a session with the folks from Airbnb, but we did have a session with them in the past, and it was very interesting for them to show, the level of interest of travelers for Ghana in particular. This is data from 2022, 2023. Right, the demand and then the number of bookings actually, right? So demand is just interest, how much interest people have for the development, and you can see the bookings number is actually quite astronomical, right? So we've been told by folks from Airbnb that Ghana is the #1 destination now for African American tourists, right? And so all of that shows, right? And I think it becomes even wider than just African Americans. I think the wider diaspora, African diaspora, do have an affinity for Ghana, and the people, the food, and the lifestyle there. And we at CESO actually have seen diasporans from neighboring countries, right, in West Africa, who prefer to own a home in Ghana, right, for their retirement or etc., home away from home, and then visit, their other places from there, right? And so I think Ghana has a lot of advantages that if we hold on to those and improve upon it. Of course, we can't hold on to our laurels. We have to improve upon it. I think there's definitely a lot of growth there, for sure. I do want to, I know Adjoa had a question for Sonia. I think Sonia's internet is there. You can see she's now on the camera, bright and ready now, right? And so perhaps Adjoa, if you can give that same question again.
Yes, I was just asking if you all partner with any U.S. financial institutions, and if U.S. folks can utilize their retirement funds with your institution in any way.
Okay. We're wholly Ghanaian owned. Regulation is regulation hasn't gotten to that point yet. This is a fairly new part of the business in terms of using your pension funds for real estate in Ghana. So regulation hasn't caught up with all our bright ideas yet. And so we're not able to do the direct usage of American pensions to purchase homes in Ghana through our system yet. We're still engaging with our regulator on the things we can and cannot do. However, if you do have access to money in your savings, your pensions that you can transfer into a pension account in Ghana, we can help you. But a direct transaction from a pension account in the US, we haven't gotten to that point yet.
And it's Ghana regulators that are the problem, or US
Well,
regulators?
It's for now. My regulator hasn't given me that opportunity, so I haven't even been able to explore that yet.
Okay, this GHPAC is here, so just let us know which regulators we need to talk to. You understand?
Sure, sure.
I like that. Exactly. Yes. It's very important. GHPAC, very, very important, influential entity. And well, that's what I like about these conversations, actually, bringing all the various parties together. Let's see what can happen. Yes, Erwin, sorry.
No, I was going to say, Adjoa didn't tell us what GHPAC is and what GHPAC does in the US.
Okay. For those who don't know, who have not come here from GHPAC, so Ghana Diaspora Public Affairs Collective, we are the largest Ghanaian diaspora organization in the United States. But we have a particular focus, obviously, on empowering our communities through policy. And so that's why, yes, we do have the ability to be influential with US government, but as well as Ghana government when it comes to diaspora needs and concerns. And so, yes, through our membership, we also connect members directly to resources, directly to get information regarding, issues that are impacting diasporans no matter where we live. And so, yes, so recent case is we'll be engaging with land rights issues in Ghana. We're particularly looking out for the behalf of Ghanaian diasporans, but also Ghanaians at home to see how we can help to mitigate issues. And, we are looking to work with the new Mahama administration. We've started to have those conversations regarding diaspora policy. How can we better facilitate and provide a very transparent scheme of which we can engage either starting a business, buying a home, our estate rights, how many people of us have lost, family member, and then all these issues arise, all these things that we go through as Ghanaian diasporans. So our website, www.GhanaDiasporaPac.org.
Excellent. No, thanks for that. And yeah, we're really happy to be working with you all. And yes, I think collectively, working together on this solution, I think it's actually the right way to go, for sure. And so, there's Jane. Yes, no worries for joining late. We will have the recording available to you right after this. We'll send that to everybody here, and also feel free to share that with anyone else in your network as well who may be interested in learning more about this. I know you had your question on rent to own properties. Some of those have typically been, from what I've seen, government-owned entities that are providing some of those schemes, right? And so if you do have any questions around any interest in those, we can assist you and maybe point you in the right direction in terms of any rent-to-own properties. As Eric mentioned, there are also apartment-style hotel-type developments as well, where you can own the units, but not necessarily live there, right? And so maybe you could live there for 2 weeks within the year, but the rest of the time it's a managed unit that runs kind of like a hotel, and then you earn your earnings as well through that as well. And so perhaps in future sessions we might bring some developers who offer those type of products as well to you all. Okay, excellent. No, thank you all very much for this. Perhaps I will. I know we've taken up a lot of your time this morning and afternoon. To all those that joined us here, thank you very much for the time that you've given us here today. Perhaps I'll give some. I'll allow for our esteemed panelists to give some final remarks before we end the session. But feel free to reach out to us at Cecil Global as well for your real estate needs. You can see that the partners that we brought here to the fore, very esteemed institutions who are all here to really make it much more easier for you to purchase real estate in Ghana. It has been a hassle in the past. It has been, quite shaky, let me say, for lack of a better word, the process in the past. But we're really here all to make sure that those things are something that stay in the past, right? So I'll start with Abdul Razak Jima, if you can give us some parting words as well. Thank you.
No, thank you, and Kweku, and thank you to the team. Just to say that Fidelity is here to help you and to support you in your mortgage journey. So whether it's a home purchase, whether it's service plot financing, whether it is a home improvement or equity release, and Fidelity is always available. Or pension-backed mortgage, where you don't need to make any down payment, but we'll do 100% mortgage financing for you. And Fidelity offers such a service also. And we also go ahead and also do the perfection of title for you. It is one of the services that you enjoy by taking the mortgage and facilitate with us. And then finally, we also offer escrow services. So for a buyer who wants to purchase the property and then we are not sure of the seller or the development, we can have an escrow account being open where you can do the deposit into the escrow account, and then Fidelity can ensure that the seller also fulfill their rights and commitment and the things that they are expected to do. And when that completion is done, then there will be an exchange. You take your property, we give them the payment so that you have your keys to your home. So that escrow services too is also available, where we will act as an intermediary between the buyer and the seller. So just to say thank you very much. If you need any further clarification, you can call our toll-free line 0800 00 3355, and you can also engage Cecil Global and they will direct you to Fidelity Bank. However, if you're in Ghana, visit any of our branches, and then our warm and welcoming and relationship officers will be able to assist you. Thank you and have a blessed day.
Thank you very, very much. Sonia, I'll give you the floor as well.
Okay, thank you so much, Kweku. We're very happy to have been able to participate in this. We're grateful for your community that has joined us today as well. Adjoa, thank you so much for having us. As I mentioned, we're happy to work with you. There's only so much that you can do trying to buy property remotely, but we are here to do this from the ground with you. And so please feel free to reach out to us through Cecil or directly. You can visit our website at petraonline.com and request to speak to an agent. We will sort you out. And if you're in Ghana, please pass by our offices in the Jolu Airport residential area, and we'll be happy to work with you. Thank you so much for your time today.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you both. Great partners in this and great places to go to if you do want to finance your property. I'll give the floor to Erwin.
It's also, I want to second everything that everyone has said. It's been a pleasure. As I said early in my introduction, I live in the US, but I'm in Ghana every month. And this is a development that's close to our family's heart. So as you all know, we own family land, or my father has bought land over the years, and we are basically developing those lands. And this is one of our projects, the Barracks Ghana. We started $175 for the ground floor, $175,000. I think I need to make sure I say that. And we're willing to work with you. Come and see the projects, check out our social, the Barracks GH on any social, or go to our website, thebarracksgh.com. Reach out to me, whether on LinkedIn, Ellie Erwin Kwao, and then connect. And if you have questions. Now, if you're looking for property and you want to ask questions about any property in Ghana, use me as a resource. It doesn't mean, if just because I'm building something and you have questions about, whether the rent to own, or you have questions about a property in an airport or whatever the case, reach out to me. I'm familiar with what's going on in the ground. I know some of the other developers, and if I can answer their questions for you, even if you're not buying a property from us, use us as a resource. Sesso Global's there. They work with a lot of the developers in the ground. Let's talk. You don't necessarily have to buy a property from me, although we hope you were the choice of yours. But if you don't, we're also here to answer questions about what's going on the ground. Ghana is an exciting place to be. If you look at the amount of planes, where the property is in East Legon, all the planes fly over. If I tell you there are close to 50 planes flying over almost every day with people coming to Ghana, think of 50 airlines, right? With over between 100 to 200 seats flying into Ghana every single day. That's what's made Ghana so popular. So if you're Ghanaian or non-Ghanaian, you should really look at Ghana, look at the Sesso platform, look at our project, and then think of, even if you're not going to live in Ghana, doing something Airbnb. The amount of money you can make return, 15% or more or less, depending on fluctuations of currency, is a lot. So thank you all. It's been a pleasure to talk to everyone.
Well, thank you very much. And it's very beautiful development there in a prime location in East Legon. Feel free to reach out to us or directly with them if you are interested. And to close the show, Ajua, please.
Well, I won't keep people long. I know folks are taking their children to soccer practice and all these things. And so I think we will also look at timing, make sure that this is still the right time for folks for these webinars. So please let us know, send us an email if you're a member. But I want to say I'm looking forward to the next conversation. The will be for this series, the Airbnb conversation, I believe in June. So the only way you will know about the date and time is if you register, engage, this and that. So but I want to thank everybody for joining us today. And Sonia, I'll be calling you. Abdul, I'll be reaching out to you. Let's sit down. Let's talk about these regulations and whatever. Let's talk about it. Okay.
Fantastic. Yeah, no, thank you very much, Joa and Erin, for giving us, this time and this time with your audience. Again, we are very grateful for the time, and thank you very much, Abdul Razak, Fidelity, and Sonia from Petra as well, for sharing this very necessary information with us. As I said, at Sesso Global, we are very happy to be working with all of these institutions. As I said, we're for all the members of GHPAC, become a GHPAC member, because we'll give you special service and some perks as well as a member. So feel free to reach out to us directly or through Ajua. I've put the website in the chat as well. And as I said, we will send the recording to you all. And yes, we will have the next session, hopefully with the gentleman from Airbnb, but it will be on property management. And we'll have certainly someone on there who's been successful in property management, so he can give you his take as well, and you can learn as well a little bit more about that side of the business as well, that side of real estate as well. So thank you again to everybody for joining this session. I think it's been very successful. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and cheers. Bye-bye.